What's up, y'all? Joe here from Ancient Empire and Shadow Killer. I said I was going to use the YouTube channel a bit more this year. It took me a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and do a few videos in the upcoming weeks. Hopefully take you on a tour of the recording studio that I have. I do all the Ancient Empire, all the Shadow Killer here, as well as my cover band, Darth Mozart. So in this first video, I'm actually going to show what I use to record all the guitars with on everything. Cover band stuff, Ancient Empire, Shadow Killer. The last 5 records has all been these pedals, but I designed a custom board with my guitar player from Darth Mozart, Paul Ruby. He's an amp builder. He helped me out and made this thing happen, so I just wanted to show you guys this thing real quick. This is the guitar I'm going to be showing it with. This is one of my cover band guitars. This is basically a parts caster, matching headstock, black with a silver logo, maple fretboard, of course, little Darth action going on. Fishman Fluence, which I've fallen in love with over the past couple of years. I've switched basically everything I have from EMG to the Fluence. It's just something about the clarity in these that I'm just in love with. So, and I find that these pedals here, AMT pedals, this is what I use. I find that the active pickups are just night and day to passive. So it's just the extra boost going in. I don't know what it is, but for me, the attack I get out of the Fluence are just unreal. But anyway, I got 3 different channels set up on this. Basically, it's a panel mount. It's cut out with a custom graphic. Use the Iron Maiden logo. Sorry, guys. Darth Mozart cover band. But I have the M2, which is basically a Marshall takeoff. R2, which is a rectifier. And the E2, which is Engel, which is my amp of choice. Fell in love with Engel many years ago as well. But they all have amazing and independent tones from one another. So the M2 I use for cover band stuff. We don't do a ton of metal, a few pre-songs, UFO, stuff like that. So I will use a heavier tone, actually a C2 that's not in this rack that I don't use for recording. But for the metal stuff, it's these 2, rectifier or Engel. So one of the things that's so special about these pedals is the cab sim out. So I do not mic guitar cabinets anymore. I go straight into Pro Tools with these pedals. Obviously, I do some processing inside Pro Tools. But that cab sim, both for live, we don't mic the cabinets live anymore either. We go straight into the PA from that cab sim out. We do use direct boxes, so on the back of this panel I do have a DI, and live we use a DI as well. But I have used these without a DI on many records, so completely usable without one. Tone is a little bit better, I think, with a DI. But that's just my personal preference. And on this, I have my choose knob. So I can obviously left M2, middle R2, right E2. So I'm just going to go through a few of these tones. Another thing is that all these pedals have a Fender clean in them. So if you disengage the pedal, okay, there's a Fender clean circuit in it. That is absolutely astonishing, especially live. It's just, with a Strat, it's insane. So here is the complete chain I use for processing the guitars in Pro Tools. I use the channel strip with the EQ, a little bit of compression, the expander gate, and I will also use a little bit of reverb, and that is basically it for everything you hear. So direct from the AMT pedal, DI, into the interface. I'm using a Focusrite right now, into the interface, and then just the simple processing. Now I do monitor on the master channel. When I do the mastering of the records, I'll bring it all and create a mastering session, and I'll use basically these same plugins for the mastering session. So I do like to monitor back while I'm recording and listening back the same effects I'm going to use for mastering. So I've got a tube emulator channel preamp. I've got a little bit more EQ. I have high pass and low pass filters, the Pro Tools EQ, and then I use the FGX Slate Digital software to get my mastering level. And that's one thing with Stormspell and myself, we both agree we don't want to max out, peak out all of our levels, have this super loud record. Doesn't need to be like that for us. We want to go old school. Back in the day, we did analog. We want to make sure it's at a normal, non-distorted level. So sometimes that's why when you throw in an AE or a Shadow Killer record in, CD in, it's not going to be as loud as some of the most current ones. That's by design, actually. So we want to go a little bit old school in that regard. But that's it. So that's E2 pedal, the AMT, E2, R2 into DI, DI into the interface, and then through these processes right here, and that's it. So that's it. Wanted to make a first simple, quick video. I'm not big on these videos, my ugly ass, don't want to be in front of a camera so much, but I did say I would like to use this YouTube channel more. I'm hoping to do more with you guys and show you everything, the bass, how I do the drums, the processing, the tracks, just give you a complete overview of how I do the Ancient Empire and Shadow Killer CDs. Each one is a little bit different, but I'd like to show you, give you a tour of the studio. Next video.